Hey guys, wow. It has been a minute since we've done a service review. Um, here's the thing. We had a couple of issues here and there yesterday. Um, if you're aware, the live stream went down. Second service, we had a couple weird formatting things in CG first service. Hayes machine started going crazy second service. And as it usually goes, we were pretty locked in by third service to create a good experience for people. But all of the issues that we did have um, are things that I would consider to be not, they're not operator errors, they're not volunteer um, issues. There's nothing that you guys did wrong. And so, really, when I was looking at service for service review today, I don't really have much, if any, negative at all. And I'm just like really, really happy about that. I mean, um, I can be nitpicky and like if I want to, I'm sure I can go in and find stuff, but it got me thinking. And um, I think that how I want to what I want to talk about in this short video is I think that we as a as a production team have two huge next steps um, in upping our game. So I think that we're growing as a team. We're growing in numbers, of course. We're growing in skill. We're also growing in our team bonding, which I think is awesome. And I'm really excited to see how that changes with Thursday night rehearsals. Um, and so we're at this point where I feel like we are ready to kind of level up the way that we do things a little bit. And so here's the two areas that I think that we can improve on, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So the first thing that I think we can improve on is our broadcast cut, our video directing cut. And so this is stuff that applies to camera ops and video directors. But here's what I want to see more of. I want to see us be more intentional and to bring the energy of the room into the broadcast more. I don't think that we create a bad cut. Nothing that we throw out there typically looks too bad. We do still occasionally have issues with either out of focus shots or people leaving frame, and that's something that we always, always, always need to be aware of and always need to be improving on. But we're doing all right. And so what I want to see us do is to bring more intentionality behind that. So here's a couple things that I want us as camera ops and video directors to focus on and to be aware of. The very first thing that you need to do is you need to know the song. Um, if you're coming to rehearsal, that's great. But if you're showing up on Sunday and you've never heard the song before and you don't know it very well, that's an issue for me. So part of our practice, part of our responsibility is to know the songs that we're doing. This applies not only to the obvious audio, but it applies to lights, it applies to camera, it applies to video directing, and it definitely applies to CG. So know the song, understand the structure of the song, understand the flow of the song, when we're working in this worship environment, maybe you're not a musical person, maybe you don't sing very well or play guitar or whatever, and that's okay. But we're thinking musically. So you don't need to know how to play an instrument, but you need to think musically. You need to think in terms of structure of the song, in terms of energy. So a verse at the beginning of the song has low energy, right? So uh, a low energy moment when it comes to video directing should be lots of tight shots. You should be introducing the worship leader to the audience. It's okay to linger on a shot in those moments. It brings people into the room. It helps them connect with what's going on. It helps people slow down. It helps them to slow their thoughts down, to slow their breath down, to take a break and say, okay, the song is starting. It's a new song. This is a quiet moment. Let me focus in. And that's the energy that we're trying to bring, right? Meanwhile, a chorus, a really big chorus is more hype. It's bigger. If we're doing The Joy or another really, really big fun song, We should see more people as new voices are introduced into the mix, as new people start to sing. We should see those people. The choruses should include wider shots. We should include more of the environment of the room with showing off the lighting and the other things that are happening. We should see crowd shots. We should see faster switching and then slow it back down again when we back to those verses. So I think that being intentional, thinking about that type of stuff with video directing and with operating your camera is going to be the thing that gets you to the next level, that gets us as a team to the next level in terms of that. The other thing that I think is huge that we can do much better at is lighting. And a lot of that is on us. It's not been a big priority. I know when I first got here, the number one priority for me was audio. We spent a long time getting the room sounding good, and it's pretty consistent that it sounds pretty good. It's not always perfect, but it sounds pretty good consistently. And lighting has typically, unfortunately, been a bit of an afterthought. So we're going to change that. And so here's the thing. Let's talk about why. Why are we doing all these crazy lights? A lot of people have arguments against it, and they're not anything new. This is nothing that I haven't heard, but a lot of people have arguments against doing uh, flashing lights and big bright lighting and all these kinds of things in a church service. Well, here's the downside of lighting, right? Lighting is twofold. It can be engaging and bring people in, or or it can be severely distracting, like super distracting, probably more distracting than audio if it's done improperly. So lighting should support the message and the worship experience rather than compete with it. Okay. So we're talking about creating intentional environments. Think about something from the point of view of somebody who's in the crowd trying to worship. Okay. If they're standing there in the crowd and a light kind of goes in front of their face and they got their eyes closed, they're probably going to open their eyes for a moment. And maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, but it might be. And so, as you're creating, as you're thinking about different things that you can do in terms of lighting, I encourage you go stand in the crowd, go stand in the audience, sit at a chair, stand up at a chair, see how the lighting feels in a rehearsal. Um, and use that to improve the things that you do. Use that to improve your timing. Use that to improve um, the way that you do things. Another huge thing in terms of lighting is I talked about music, but understand the song. Don't just know the song, but understand the song. What is the song about? What is the theme of the song? How does it build dynamically? How does it crash? Do we have these moments where, um, we're really building really big and into from a verse, and then we crash huge into a chorus or something like that. I have a really good example of that in a second. Um, but your moving fixtures, your effects, all of that should match the musical dynamics of the song. If we're big, we can be big. If we're low, we should be low. And that's kind of just a broad strokes thing. But keep in mind the room that we're in. This is not a concert. This is a worship environment. So yes, I love lighting. Let's make it cool. Let's make it fun, but we're in a worship environment. Let's not pull people out of it. So these high energy moments, they really need to be tasteful. The transitions between our songs need to be gentle. They need to be um, not too quick, not too slow. They need to not pull people out of the moment. And so these are things that we can improve on. I want to show off a little bit of a lighting moment from this service yesterday. And I think it was really cool, and I just wanted to kind of highlight that. So let me navigate to the timing here, and I'll just play this clip and you can kind of listen and watch.
The crowd's big into the bridge. Chorus. Tag here. Chorus big. Duh, 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 duh.
Okay, so as producer yesterday, I was doing my best to kind of call this moment out and kind of gear Devin, our lighting operator, yesterday up for it, and he did a great job. We did all three services, and it was great. And so what's happening here is, in case you can't tell, basically we hit the blinders, and so probably a good location to watch this at is camera 2, but you can kind of hear when we're building into that chorus and all of a sudden those blinders go in the room, it's intense. And so we timed it right with that chorus. We timed it right with that crash, and we didn't hold the blinders too long. They're very bright in people's eyes, right? So it's cool. It's a good moment. It's not too much, but you don't want to hold it for too long. So let me just play it one more time and kind of watch that. Camera 2 might be a good place to look.
Tag here. Chorus big. Duh, 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 duh.
And they kind of start to die down.
Yeah.
And then eventually they'll be off here in just a second.
Love that energy.
Okay. So we keep the energy of the song, we keep the movement, we don't leave that effect on too long to the point where it's going to be distracting to somebody. But it gets the job done, and it's really a highly effective thing to do. Those moments like that, that's the moment when you go like, and everybody starts raising their hands in the middle of the song, and it's like, man, this is awesome. And that lighting plays a role in encouraging people and helping people feel comfortable in that moment to do something like that. So really, really great job, Devin. This is the kind of lighting stuff that I want to see. So where does that leave us? As you probably know, or as you should know, starting in May, the tech team is going to be required to attend rehearsals on Thursday. And so Thursday night rehearsals are the Thursday before Sunday is when we're doing it for. And you don't have to come unless you're serving that Sunday. But here's what I want us to do. Lighting designers, we're going to start intentionally programming songs as a cue list. So we're creating moments for every single part of the song. We're not doing things on the fly on a Sunday morning anymore. This is the long-term goal. It's not going to happen straight away, but the long-term goal is that every single song is pre-programmed out, pre-planned in a way that allows us to flow and go back and forth where we need to. But you can spend time creating these intentional moments and making sure that we get it just right. So that's going to be a thing that we're going to learn how to do on Thursdays, is programming an entire cue list for songs. And that's really going to help us up our game. Video directors, here's what I want to see. I want to see on Thursday nights us coming up with choreographed moments for the service. So that might mean something as simple as, all right, camera 1 is going to open service on a shot of the worship leader. Camera 2 is going to be standing by, ready to do a pull off the worship leader. We'll kind of transition here after they do their intro. And that's a choreographed moment. And you're going to do it the same every single service. Now, here's the thing. We don't need to choreograph the entire set. I don't want us to. It takes away some of the energy, some of the freedom, the creative freedom that you get. But spending time on Thursday to rehearse those moments and say, especially something like a transition, for example, say, okay, when the MC comes up, camera 1 is going to stay on worship leader, camera 2 is going to go to MC, and you have that pre-planned, pre-locked in. That way we don't miss moments. It's huge, and it really helps us up our game. The other thing I'd like to see us play with, especially at rehearsals, is switching shots super, super often. So let me, I'm going to edit in a video here at the end. It is a clip of Bayside's video director. Her name is Jasmine. She does a really great job. I just want you to pay attention to how often she's switching. But here's the thing. If you watch their multi-view, they have 6 cameras. Okay. We have 4, sometimes 5. So they've got a couple more, but they don't have 20, 30 cameras. And they're still switching super, super often. So I'm going to edit that in real quick here, and then I'll talk about it in a second.
5, 5. I love it. 5. Tilt up just a little bit. 1. Take 1. There we go. Ready, 6. Take 6. 3. 3, 4. Here we go. 4. Take 4. Ready, 5. Take 5, 1, 1, 6, 6, 3, 3, 5, 5, 1, 1, 3, 3, 6, 6. Track, nice 6, nice 6, ready 1, nice, nice, take 1, ooh, fire, ready 5, 5, 3, take 3, 4, and take 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, ready 4, 4, ready 6, take 6, ready 4, take 4.
as you can see, she switches a lot. The energy is really high. This is the type of energy I want to see us bringing. We can 100% do this with the setup that we have. We don't need more cameras. We don't need more things. We can bring this level of energy to our services. It is a team effort. It requires camera operators to be ready, to be moving to new shots the second that they're not live anymore. It requires the video director to have the energy, to have that high moment where they want to switch, they want to switch, they want to switch, they want to bring that energy, and that's in that fast song, and then we die down into a slow song, and we'll linger for a minute. We can 100% do this, and I want to see us practicing and rehearsing on Thursday nights to make this something that we can do better at. So, not really a service review today, more of a just general conversation video, but there's a lot of things to talk about, and I really think we're close to the point of doing significantly better in terms of production. And I say that loosely, obviously, we're not performing, that's not what we do, but we're doing pretty good for what we have, and I want to see us level up. So there's a couple things that I think we can do to kind of do that. I'll say it again just as a reminder, Thursday night rehearsals starting in May. So if you're scheduled for a Sunday in May, you're expected to come to rehearsal the Thursday night before. Times and all of that stuff are in Planning Center. So we'll see you then. Guys, we have Easter coming up, so it's super, super exciting. And yeah, I'm sure I'll see all of you guys in the next couple weeks here.